Just answering questions with Web Tech. Here we go. You could also put a normal sprocket on it and make it what we call a fixed wheel. Continuous pedaling will not stop. No ratchet. Just of a spare. Lol. Did you win? Is it fixed now? Damn you, insert. No, I've set it to a single speed and left the ratcheting cog set on, as I indicated in the video. I can find the right gear for the rear. Make a joke. But I'm going to have to redish my wheel or realign my chain. Next, I found out yesterday that repinning a chain, which is what I did before, I did it really good, it lasted, but it went bang, literally like a gunshot. So I had to repair it with the spare link I carry anyway. So, yeah. Next, there's only one part left on the bike that hasn't been replaced, so I'm just going to replace it. And I'm still not going to use a derailleur. It's going to be a single speed because I never change gears. That's why I keep wearing them out. I don't change back and forth. The next thing is to get a BMX style drivetrain. Literally build it to be beaten on. Okay, the rest of these questions, that was the only question asking me about my life. Damn you, unserved. So here we go. Why did Lombardo not want to release the videos? What's your speculation, please? You're asking me to be a speculator? Trying to get me in trouble like Mike Martin's on Mike Martin's channel? Because Lombardo and the rest of them are enigmatically, annoyingly behind the times. No. What happened is, does anybody remember the Boston bombing? You might remember this, okay? Where's all the videos, the other videos that have nothing to do with it, that happen to happen in the area, all the other security footage people keep asking for? What happened is every business in the area and every bit of Boston decided, we don't want to accommodate for a bunch of whiners on the internet that make demands. Apparently the toluene spill's been cleaned up and everybody's driving by like there wasn't the potential kaboom, earth-shattering or not. But if you're curious, they don't have to release any information. I don't know if you know that. You can ask your local police department, do you have to release any information at all for an investigation? No. If there's a Freedom of Information Act complaint and demand from the press and that sort of thing, you're kind of behooved to. But at that point, you do actually put in the hours. Now, they could have chosen, I'm doing my Tyson, we got a badass here, they could have chosen to release the information without making it expensive. By only releasing information they knew for a fact they didn't have to redact. And then telling everybody, we're not releasing any other information unless we absolutely have to by court order. And it's going to cost more, and we demand that somebody pay for it, because it's going to take a bunch of man-hours, and we have other things to do. I mean, since then, in Las Vegas, how many armed robberies and shootings have happened? Most of you don't know those numbers. You can go look them up. I did at one point because I was going to make a video about it, but it's just kind of depressing. Life and the unpleasantries of it go on. Next, there was someone shot in front of the Tropicana. Oh, the English language. Oh, us America people. 11:08. This is off of the website the person was probably referring to. I have the archives below. It's going to be called Truth, Christian, Soldier, Patriot, yada yada dot whatever. At 11:08 p.m., not 10:05. Control. Please be advised there is a woman with a gunshot wound to the head located at the Tropicana. That's the closest I found. No, she was shot there. No, she was shot someplace else because the Tropicana, along with every other place that wasn't being fired upon, became a place where everybody went. If there's a shooting at a location, you don't go towards it, you run away from it. And there was a lot of confusion that night, but if the Tropicana was a known location of any kind of shooting, do you really believe every police officer herded people there for more death? If you live in that fantasy universe, get the hell off my planet. 11:43 p.m. Medics report that they are taking fire at the Tropicana. 1 minute later, office reports negative shots fired at the Tropicana. Miscommunication. And some people left out the other thing. They said they were fired upon while trying to retrieve people. And they were also wrong. Let's look for the witness accounts that support our belief system. Ignore the next line that was literally a minute later. 11:57, not 10:05 p.m. Subject ran across the roof at the front of the Tropicana. That's a relative position. Where's the front of the Tropicana? Next, at 12:14 a.m., officer reports no casualties at the Tropicana. That's also not true because there's a bunch of casualties. They're from the shooting. They came to there to hide from being shot some more. No, that's not logical. We have to have a conspiracy. I'm done. No, someone was not shot in front of the Tropicana. Now, the next part of this, I'm going to play devil's advocate. What if someone took advantage of the chaos to do some break-ins or shootings because they wanted even some score, or just go off and shoot people and hope that they wouldn't get blamed for it? That could have happened too. That does not indicate NSA, FBI, CIA, SWAT teams trying to overthrow Trump. That indicates that somebody was getting their licks in during a chaotic situation. That would not actually indicate the police were shooting at people, and they sure as hell wouldn't be telling everybody on the radio, yeah, we're shooting people. I'm sorry, but why does this keep coming up? All you have to do is show a video of a police officer cocking, leveling, and pointing a rifle at someone and pulling the trigger. That would be it. That is what you are. That is literally a smoking gun. All those video recordings of everything else going on. Every strobe or blinky is suddenly a muzzle flash when no sound's happening the next day. But you can't find one frickin' video showing a cop or anybody else actually pegging somebody. Shut up. Anyway, next. Why do the breaching cops say there's no broken window in that room, and then accidental discharge of a weapon in the other room, and we have a broken window? As far as they were going in, they didn't detect, they said on recording, you're saying, okay, that they didn't see at one point a broken window. No broken window. They were looking for broken windows, and each of them is calling out, I don't see a broken window, no breaks, no breaches, no whatever. And then later on they found one. Maybe they were looking more towards, I wonder if there's a second shooter in the room, because that's what you would do. No, you're gonna walk in there cowboy style. Once. Paddock could have been playing possum. He was laying on a rifle. I'm surprised they didn't bludgeon him. I'm surprised they didn't riddle him with bullets as soon as they saw him laying there. I would have been scared out of my mind. Because a bunch of people got shot, huge chaos in the area. We don't know how many shooters there are. I'm not taking any chances. Oh, there's somebody, he twitched, bang. Doesn't matter if he twitched. I'm surprised he wasn't filled with more bullet holes. In fact, that was one thing nobody ever brought up. Maybe he dropped dead from something else and they plugged him. That's not what happened, but you could come up with something much more inventive that would fit human nature and human behavior. If most of the guys posting this kind of crap were in tune with reality and human nature. Sort of like the people who look at spider webs being produced by spiderlings who are flying, it's called ballooning, and saying it's chem webs. It's not chem webs, it happens literally every year. News stories are done on it all the time. It's a natural phenomena that's been noted since literally hundreds of years ago in books. There's even a poem about it. No, let's ignore that and say it's chem webs. The accidental discharge in the room actually has a traceable pathway, ended up shooting the wall. It could have hit a window too. But you'd have to show that that happened. Not use that as an excuse to try to exonerate Paddock and keep the meme alive. And no, I wasn't convinced of any of this until people like this kept posting these BS stories. And on that one, relax, you don't have to get technical and exact. Then you'd complain when I didn't. It was 10 minutes, not 11. I don't care. The point is that it is still remarkable accuracy from over a quarter mile away. It's half a mile or more. In the dark, it was a well-lit up area. You know that. Why are you posting this? By a 64-year-old man who had a bunch of physical issues. I have almost the same physical issues. And it is not that hard to pull a trigger and aim it into a fish barrel. Nitwit. No, it's not remarkable accuracy. Because it's not. Do we really just have to set up hundreds of ballistic gelatin targets and do the experiment? I don't think Farmers for Truth wants to go ahead and do that because that's just a little over the top. Maybe he'll set up a bunch of cardboard targets with a similar density by consulting with, let's say, Mr. Visual for a test area, go out exactly the same distance with the same rise and fall if he can find one in that flatland he lives in. Hopefully he doesn't get in trouble and fires preferably during daylight, because I think nighttime would scare the chickens. Or maybe we could just take it, for granted that if you fire into a closely packed group of people, you might hit some people. And if he's such a dead goddamn shot, why couldn't he hit that big ass tank more than a couple of times? You're making him an incredible sharpshooter, saying what a quinky dink, and making him a really crappy shot, what a quinky dink. Stuff your quinky dink, shrinky dink. Let's just get on with this. Anyway, also the fact, I'm going to emphasize, that the 64-year-old man was shooting rifles with a bump stock, and would have given out after the third or fourth volley. You obviously practiced before, and you've never fired a bump stock, slide stock, wood stock. Do I have to do this because I am really rusty as hell, and I'm not as old? I have the same physical issues. I have dislocated previously, not now, knees, shoulders, elbows, fingers, jaw, and yes, it's possible, dislocated nose. Don't ask, it hurt. And ankles. Why are ankles so badly designed? Seriously, God, what'd you do? Anyway, here we go next. Third or fourth volley. Stuff it. Fact! Just keep facting. The strobe light was a distraction. So you admit it was a strobe instead of a muzzle flash. Backpedal much? You do a not so great job of distracting people by talking about irrelevant subjects. You mean the ones I'm asked to look up and talk about and explain and provide links to and get exact plus or minus 5 seconds or 3 feet on a map? What have you done lately, honey? For a long time and while ignoring the important topics like you guys wanting to exonerate a mass murderer so you can have some freaking hobby? Go look up JFK stuff. That's an actual challenge. There's some stuff you can learn from it. You'll ignore it, but you can still learn if you really want to. Can you say back and to the left? Next. Why did multiple cops at multiple locations say multiple shooters and shootings hours after Paddock died? They were told there were shooters. They were relaying the fact that they were told there was a shooter. They were all talking about the same shooter. It's not confirmed. Shut your confirming mouth. Shut your whore mouth while WAPTEC's talking. Next. Hours after Paddock died. Horrible disinformation job. Yeah. But this happens during every actual real shooting. So normal bullcrap of bad witness reports, because they're the crappiest ways of getting current information. Look at me, I got something wrong today about a spill up the street. Well, I think I got it wrong. So did the news reporter I talked to. And there's only a few people and none of you heard of it. Think if it was a shooting, how many bad it's not disinformation, it's your witness testimonies conflicting with each other, because that's what normally happens. After the fact, months later, that's when things are clear. It's called hindsight is 20/20. Not looking up a hog butt for a ham sandwich. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. I got to do a part 2.